started, and maybe Beth will pop in. Mute everybody in a few moments. So our practice today is called All the Feels, and it's all about how, as a culture, we tend to sort of cut ourselves off from our emotions. We distract ourselves. We don't like to feel those kind of so-called difficult, challenging emotions like our anger or our frustration or sadness. We always want to kind of push those things away. And then when we do that, it creates an energy of suppression, right? So emotions and things like that are things that are meant to go up and out, meant for us to express. And if we're not expressing what needs to be expressed, then that creates that suppressed energy. And so we're in the time getting into spring. In Chinese medicine, this is part of the yoga that I study, is married with Chinese medicine. It's the time of liver gallbladder energy and the wood element. So the wood element, and yes, the humor is not lost on me in this, but the wood element energy goes up and out, right? So it's an energy that, there's Beth, hello. So if we think about how a plant or tree, the energy needs to kind of push up through the soil in order to express and become the plant. And so we have that same kind of energy within ourselves. So we need to be able to express what needs to be expressed. Not only if we're thinking about emotions, vocals, things like that, but also like our life purpose. So there's a kind of a bigger picture to it as well. So if we're not expressing maybe what we were meant to express in this lifetime, that could be another means of how we suppress ourselves, right? So say we always wanted to be a dancer or something, and we took the easy road, we took the safe road, and we did something else, but we suppressed that desire that we had to express something more creative. So we can think about all these different ways that we suppress the expression of life within ourselves. And when we do, that stagnates liver gallbladder channel. So we're going to work on that in our practice today. Liver gallbladder channel is basically the outer side of the leg, so side body all the way up the leg, side of the rib cage, even into the neck a little bit. And then liver goes up the inner channel of the leg. So we'll be targeting outer hips and inner leg in our practice. We'll be focusing on slowing things down a bit so that we can feel all the feels, particularly focusing on the area of the hips, because the yogis say that's where we store a lot of our repressed emotion, in those hips. So over 12 years of teaching yoga, I've had quite a few instances of people having sort of emotional stuff come up when we work on hips. So you may have that experience, you may not, but just be aware of it. We're going to start on our backs. If you want to have a blanket down for comfort, we'll be there for a little bit with a little extended floor sequence. And then we'll be getting moving after that. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody unless you have any questions or comments about all of that. All right. So go ahead and come onto your backs, please. And as you come onto your back, you can have any position that's comfortable for your legs, straight out or bent. Or maybe even a bound angle today would be really nice, because that will start that inner channel of the legs. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start there with my feet together, knees apart. So you can choose. We're going to place our hands on the lower belly, below your navel. And take a few moments to slow down and notice what is present for you as you arrive on your mat this morning. Slowing the breath, slowing down movement, being present. So in order to feel, what are some requirements? So we need to be slow, right? If we're going too quickly, we bypass our emotions. And we need to find some stillness. So if we're still, we're going to be feeling more than if we're moving around quickly. So slowing your breath down. Let your finger pads become really sensitive to the skin underneath the rise and fall of the belly. And see if you can direct the breath to the area below your navel, between your navel and your pelvic floor. So this is a downward flow of energy just to help us ground initially. Let's take about 3 more nice slow breaths, feeling the rise and fall of the abdomen. For many of us, our breath is stuck. It's a little bit caught, and then we're not getting that full, slow, deep breath. It can cause us to feel anxious, cause us to feel depressed. Nice even breath can help that emotional state. All right, so from here, if knees are apart, go ahead and bring those feet flat. And take your hands behind the back of your head, interlace them, and use your thumbs to massage along the hairline. So this is a gallbladder area along the hairline. You might find some tender spots. If you do, go ahead and give them a little bit more attention. And then settle your thumbs about 1 inch to either side of your occipital ridge. So the center is your cervical spine. Go about 1 inch to the side. Press in and then pull slightly up. Let your chin lower a bit. So you want to feel a lengthening quality in the back of your skull. Now just keep pressing there for a moment. Take your feet wide and windshield wiper your legs side to side. Keep pressing with your thumbs. So we're creating almost like a, let's say a dam. Like when we dam something up, we're preventing the flow. And then when we take our fingers away, it's like opening the dam, and then that energy can flow right through the back of the head. So bring the knees back up, release your fingers, release your arms at your side, and just feel and sense into that back of the skull area. Maybe you'll feel a little warmth or a little energy flow. All right, bring your hands back behind the head again. Interlace your fingers, keep your feet flat. And then we're gonna slide over to one side. So you're not gonna pick your shoulders up, you're just gonna slide into a side bend, as if you're crunching on the side body. And even squeeze your hip and your elbow to each other, and then slide to the other side. And squeeze your hip and your elbow towards each other. And let's go ahead and go side to side, sliding. Now, as you do this, you might start to look at the elbow that's reaching away. Just turn your head, turn your gaze. And you just get a little bit more action in through the neck. And it's also good for our eyes to be able to kind of go in different directions. A lot of us are very forward focused. All right, go ahead, come back to the center. So that was for the side body gallbladder channel. Now we're going to cross right ankle over left knee, coming into figure 4. Arms out to a T. If you want, you could have a pillow or something under your head if you feel like you would be more comfortable. And then windshield wiper those legs side to side with the cross, ankle to knee cross. As you go side to side, observing through the outer hip areas, into the IT bands. And then coming back through center, cross the legs all the way over now. So instead of figure 4, it's almost like eagle, where our inner thighs are squeezed together, and then continue that rocking with the legs close together. So we're just getting into those outer hips. And it's a nice kind of rolling across your lower back. Really be present for the experience. Coming up through center, lift those knees, and you're going to bring the knees in towards your chest. So you have some options here. You can hold behind your legs, you can hold your shins, or you could hold your feet. So we're in the Gomukhasana shape here with the inner thighs squeezing together. And we're going to add on to this action. Now, if your lower back is really rounded, I want you to kind of go a little bit less and hold behind the legs instead of holding your feet or your shins. Take an inhale. As you exhale, press your lower back into the ground and then pull your knees in towards your chest, squeeze your low belly, and draw your feet apart from each other. And now inhale, soften a bit, release it. Exhale, press your low back, squeeze your knees in, draw your low belly in, compact everything, pull the feet apart from each other. And let's do that one more time and see if you can really feel into those hips. Low back presses, squeeze the knees, draw the low belly in, and feet pull apart. Shoulders should be down on the ground. All right, slowly unwind, take your legs up straight and circle out your feet a little bit. So sometimes that gets into the ankles and the feet. So a couple times in each direction. Okay, let's do that on the other side. Feet come down, left leg crosses into figure 4. Windshield wiper side to side. Again, feeling into those outer hips. Is there a difference from the first side to the second side? And then when you're ready, start to cross the leg all the way over and do a few more windshield wipers. And getting those inner thighs to squeeze in. And then coming up to center, lift the knees, lift the feet, and hold where you can. Backs of legs, shins, or hold the pinky edges of your feet. Holding here, take an inhale. Exhale, press your low back down. Squeeze your low belly, pull those knees into your chest, and the feet are drawing away from the center. And then as you inhale, let it release a little bit, and exhale, repeat. So you know the drill now. Just go ahead and do all of those actions. So we're activating those lower belly muscles to help us draw those knees in a little closer. And then after your third time, go ahead, release the legs up, circle the feet around, shake it out. All right, bring the knees back into the chest. And we're gonna roll over to the side and come on up into a seated posture. Let's draw the soles of the feet together into our bound angle. So here is that liver channel through the inner legs. Just hold on wherever you can, ankles, shins, feet, and we'll sit up nice and tall. Press your heels together and extend outward through your inner knees. And just hold it here in the upright position. We'll take another breath here. Good, and then from here, lean back on your sit bones and see if you can reach down, clasp your feet and lift those feet off the ground. Try to keep lifting through your chest. Hold it here, one more breath. Lift those feet a little higher if you can. Good, and then slowly release, bring the feet down. Bring your hands behind you, cross the shins, coming into Sukhasana. Sitting up on a prop if you find you need that, and widen your sit bones apart. So if you tend to round your lower back, go ahead and add that prop. Inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, hinge forward, hands coming in front of your shins. You could walk it out a little if you like. Now, once you find kind of an initial stopping point, don't go any farther. We don't want to force it. But then we could add a gentle sway side to side. Again, just feeling into those hips. All right, now slowly start to come up, draw the soles of the feet together again, back into your bound angle, sit up tall, press the heels, extend through the inner knees. Holding it here, one more breath. Good, and then we'll rock back onto the sit bones a little bit, lift those feet up, hold if you can around your feet. Or if you can't, you're gonna hold on to your shins or your ankles. Try to lift through your chest. Try to pick those feet up a little bit higher. And then slowly release, bring your other shin in the front. Inhale, reach your arms up, and exhale, come forward. And again, find that initial stopping point. Pause there, find a little sway. And as you do that, you might be able to walk it out a little bit more. And then slowly walking it back up. And then from here, we'll come around into our table pose, all fours. So coming into tabletop, go ahead and let's do a few rounds of cat-cow. So when you're ready, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And let's do about 5 cycles of cat-cow. So being aware of sensations as you take these 2 postures. Keep it going, couple more rounds. After your 5th round, go ahead and press back into a wide knee child's pose. Good. Take one more breath here. And then slide forward onto your belly. And we're going to come onto our sides. So prop up onto your side. Doesn't matter which side you start on. So bring yourself into a straight line. Stack up your legs, stack up your hips, stack up your shoulders. If you can, rest your head on your bottom arm. Take your top arm overhead. Hold your wrist and get a nice full body stretch on your side. Reach through your heels, reach through your arms. And then we're going to release the top hand onto the floor in front of you. You can keep your head down or prop it up. And then we're going to bring the top leg into tree pose. Flex your bottom foot, press that leg into the ground. So really root it down, firm that outer hips to help you balance. Tone your belly. And then from here, we're going to bring that knee in toward the chest and extend the leg up towards straight. Really reach through your heel. And then we're going to bring that foot back down into tree. We're going to slide it out till those feet meet again. Slide that leg back in, knee in toward your shoulder, and extend the leg up. Good. One more time, then we're going to hold it. Slide it out. Slide it in. Bring it in. Now, some of you might be able to reach down, catch your big toe. Root into your bottom leg, firm your hips, and see if you can extend that top leg up. Finding your balance. So you want to really squeeze those outer hips, root through your bottom leg, and extend through your spine. Externally rotate that top leg a little bit more, turning it open. And then we'll release and slide it down. Good. Go ahead and come forward onto your belly. Slide your hands back by your chest. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, release. Bend your knees. Inhale, cobra pose. Release, slide your right knee out to the side. Lift up, cobra pose. Slide that knee back. Other knee out to the side. Lift up, cobra pose. Release, slide that leg back, and then roll onto your other side. So I'm gonna flip around so I stay facing you guys. So first, we're gonna find that full body stretch on the ground. Stack up your legs, reach through your arms, lengthen. Good. And then from here, bring your front hand onto the ground, bring your top leg into tree. Just want to turn this music down a little. I don't want you guys to hear that. Okay. All right, so then we're gonna slide, bring that knee in towards your chest, extend it up. And then bring that foot down and slide it out. As we slide the foot along the inner leg, that's also that liver channel. So we're giving a little stimulation through that inseam of the leg. Good. This time, hold it up. Maybe grab your big toe. Firm your hips, root the bottom leg down, reach the top leg up, and a little external rotation. And hold there another moment. Try not to let your booty kind of stick out behind you. Firm it in. Good. Release and roll to your belly. Let's go through that Cobra series one more time. Hands by your chest. Inhale, curl up. Exhale down. Lift your feet. Do that again. We're getting into all these areas of the hips, front, side, back, right knee to the side. Lift up. Good. Other knee to the side. Lift up. Slide that leg back. Press to tabletop pose. Keep your knees together and come into child's pose. So you're not going to go all the way. You might be able to get your head down. You might not. Doesn't matter. But knees together. And now walk your hands back and see if you can sit up so that you're on your heels. So we're in Virasana. Hug the inner thighs together. Sit up nice and tall. This is challenging. You can also prop yourself up onto a block or two. We're going to hold for 3 more breaths. So finding these little moments of stillness. Feeling sensation. 1 more breath. All right. So from here, if you still have a blanket, we're going to start our standing series work. So you can go ahead, take that blanket off of your mat. And then let's find a downward facing dog. So coming into table, walking your hands forward a few inches. Turn the hands out just a hair. Tuck your toes, lift up, down dog. And then feel into your dog. Take a moment and be still with a little bend in your knees. Lift your sit bones. Firm your arms. Let your head release. So the higher we get those sit bones, the more length in our lower back, the more length in the back of the neck. Let your head release. Shake it out. And then when you're ready, go ahead and pedal one knee, bending at a time. Letting those heels release, stretch out the backs of the calves. All right, and then from here, go ahead, walk your feet to meet your hands. Inhale to a halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, release. Arms down at your side or at your heart center. Okay, couple of sun salves. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale to your halfway lift. Plant your hands, step back, plank pose, top of a push-up. Good. Go ahead, lower down. Inhale through your cobra. Pull your hands back and slightly apart to open your chest. And then downward facing dog, hips lift up and back. Just take another breath cycle there. Feel what you feel in your dog. So you can get those sit bones lifting. And then big inhale as you exhale, step or lightly jump top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over your legs. Really root down through your heels as you rise up to stand. Reach the arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana, and then release, arms down at your side. Let's do one more cycle. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale to prepare, halfway lift. Plant your hands, step back, plank pose. You can continue with cobra if you like, lower halfway, up dog, straighten the arms. And make your way back, downward facing dog. As you inhale, take your right leg straight up behind you, pause. Firm your arms, squeeze your inner thighs, and really reach through that leg. And then we're gonna bend the elbows for a little down dog push-up. Bend the elbows to the sides, and then push through your hands, re-extend, and step through to a lunge. Drop your back knee down to the floor. Widen your front foot. So we're coming into lizard, and you can stay here on your hands or start to drop down. So we're gonna hold it for a few breaths. You can use your blocks if you wish underneath your hands, underneath your forearms, whichever version works for you, or come all the way to the ground. Now you might stay here. You might lift your back knee off the ground. Whichever version you choose, no worries, either way, just kind of hug your hips into the midline. From here, open to a twist, right hand to right thigh. Press your right thigh and your right hand into each other and start to turn open a bit more into the twist. Make sure that bottom shoulder is back, not popping forward, so protect that bottom shoulder. So we're gonna hold here. Let's take one more breath. Feel the feels. And then when you're ready, we're gonna slowly drop that back knee down to the ground, release your hands, walk it back to the center. From here, straighten your front leg, half Hanumanasana. Keep the front sit bone in, behind the knee, behind the ankle. You can use blocks here if you like. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, maybe fold forward a little bit. And then we're holding here another breath or two. Stay on that midline like we talked about last week. Last breath. And then we're going to go ahead, slowly release, bending into that front knee. Step it back, downward facing dog. So I'm going to leave some of the vinyasas up to you. If you want to take one between, you're welcome to. I'm going to instruct them after both sides. If you want to move more, you can take one in between sides. When you're ready, inhale, left leg straight up. Hug to that midline, inner thighs, arms firm in. Lift that leg a little higher from the inner thigh. And then a little baby down dog push up. Bend the elbows to the sides. Feel that strength in your arms. And then push through your hands, re-extend, lift that leg higher, and now step through, coming into your lizard. Walk the left foot to the left. And then either staying up on your hands, using your blocks, or dropping down to forearms. And stay present. Try not to get distracted with your thoughts. And let yourself drop into the pose. Maybe you're going to lift that back knee off the ground. Keep the hips firming in, chest forward. Coming into the twist, left hand onto left thigh, and press the thigh and the hand into each other to help you turn open. Breathing here. One more. And we'll slowly release. Walk yourself back to center. And then we're going to straighten that front leg, coming into our half Hanumanasana. So important here not to be like all rounded in our backs in order to get to the floor. So bring your hands up higher if you feel that happening. Hug to the midline. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, maybe folding over that front leg. Think about moving your inner thighs, sit bones back. Let's take one more breath here. And then go ahead, slowly re-bend into that knee and step it back, downward facing dog. All right, taking that vinyasa here if you like, or staying in your dog. Anytime you need to, find a child's pose. All right. Meeting back in your dog when you're ready. Inhale your right leg up. We're going to step right through this time, warrior two. Spin your back heel down and rise up. So we're going to take a little bit more vinyasa before we hold some more poses. Press down and apart with your feet when you get those hips nice and open. We're also working that kind of inner thigh area here. And then we're going to inhale, reach the arms straight up toward the ceiling. Really get long, reach as high as you can. Hold on to your right wrist. Really lengthen it up and come into reverse warrior, holding on to that wrist. And then keep that front knee pressing open. Don't let it drop in. Holding it here, making sure we're firming through the back hip, the back thigh. We get into gallbladder when we do our side bends. Good, release back to warrior two. Straighten that front leg, take an inhale. Exhale, re-bend, hook forearm onto thigh, top hand onto hip for a moment. Roll the top shoulder back, coming into side angle, and lengthen the bottom side ribs. Good. If you want more challenge, bring your forearm inside the knee, coming a little deeper, and then press the knee and the arm into each other to help you turn your chest open. Top arm can reach up if you like. Turn your palm to the right and maybe reach it over your ear, coming into a really nice dynamic side angle. So you're pressing the arm and leg into each other, pressing down and apart with your feet, reaching through your top arm, feeling the feels of this pose. Maybe pull that tailbone in a bit. Good, rise up, warrior two. Good, cartwheel your hands down to the ground, coming back to lizard pose. So widen that front foot out to the side, staying here or dropping down onto your forearms. Let's hold it another breath. Good, no twist this time. We're gonna step back, downward facing dog, and bring your knees to the ground. Good. From here, start to slide your hands back behind you and see if you can lift your knees off the ground, stretching the tops of your feet. If that's not accessible, you can always just go to a child's pose. Good. From here, knees down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Let's do that on side 2. Inhale, left leg up. Good, step it through, warrior 2. Good. So find your warrior 2 first, root down through your heels, through your feet, reach out through your arms. Draw the tailbone down, lift the low belly up. One more breath here. And then inhale, reach the arms up through center. Get nice and tall, lift your rib cage. Hold your left wrist. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, reverse warrior. Now keep bending into the front knee and press that front knee open towards your pinky toe side. Tends to drop in. Firm your back thigh. Press down and apart with your feet. Good, release. Inhale, warrior 2. Good, stay for the exhale, and then on the next inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, back into it, reach forward, side angle, forearm to thigh, top hand on the hip initially. Lengthen those bottom side ribs. Turn the top shoulder back. Good, press down, especially into your heels. Firm your hips, pull the tailbone in a little bit. Good, and then if you want to go further, slide that forearm inside the knee and press the forearm and the knee together, turn open. Inhale, top arm up. Still pressing down and apart with the feet, maybe reach that arm over the ear. Stay here, reach, 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 feel all the feels of the pose. On your next inhale, rise up, warrior 2. Good, cartwheel your hands down, you're back in your lizard pose. Widen that foot and stay for a few breaths. No twist this time. You can either stay up on your hands or you can drop down deeper if you wish. Let's hold it here, one more breath. All right, slowly step that foot back, walk your hands back, and see if you can now reach your hands behind you, lift your knees, stretch the tops of your feet. And then slowly come forward, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, release, downward facing dog. Take the vinyasa if you would like. You're going to be putting some things together. All right. So once you're in your dog, let's inhale, right leg up. Let's do our push-up this time. Bend the elbows to the sides. Re-extend, lengthen through that leg. Step through. Drop the back knee. Lizard twist this time. This time we're going to let this front knee drop open. So roll onto the pinky edge of that front foot as long as that would feel okay for you. And then push hand and thigh into each other, turn open. And let the left hip kind of drop toward the ground. Keep your shoulders back and keep pressing hand and thigh into each other. If that bothers you to bring the knee open, keep the foot flat. All right, slowly walk it back in. And you're going to bring the foot back to center. Use your blocks here if it's harder to reach the floor. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Left hand stays down, right arm up into a twist. So we're in another twist. Squeeze the inner thighs. Bring your awareness to your bottom hand and pull it to the left, and notice how that makes you turn. Bring your awareness to your top hand. Press it into an imaginary wall and turn again. Now both hands, left palm presses to the left, right arm presses to the right, and turn yourself open. One more breath. All right, slowly release, drop down onto that back knee, coming into the half Hanumanasana, straightening the front leg. Now you can stay here or keep walking back until you sit back. And you might sit all the way down. So we're in kind of one leg bent, one leg straight. And if that's not working for you, hold your half Hanumanasana. Inhale, reach your arms up if you're in the pose. And exhale, hinge forward. See if you can catch your shin, your ankle, or your foot. Now you might want your right hand down as a little bit of support, and that's fine. Hinging from your hip crease, take a few breaths in this forward fold. Let's hold it here one more. All right, now we're gonna slowly start to shift forward. So we're gonna walk the hands forward. We're back here in this lunge, and then we're gonna step it back, downward facing dog. All right, let's take a vinyasa between sides. So go ahead and come forward, either lower to the belly or take your up dog, cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Okay, side two, inhale, left leg up, step it through. I forgot to push up. I'll make it up to you next round. Coming into your lizard. Hold it here for a few breaths. And then we're going to come into the twist and let that front knee fall open. So you're going to keep that right hand down, left hand on the thigh, press the thigh and the hand into each other. Good. Turning open. Let's hold it here, another breath. All right, go ahead and release. Walk that foot back to center. Now we're going to do the other twist. So you can lift that back knee and reach the left arm up into the twist. So I'm going to kind of watch you guys this time instead of being turning away. Firm your hips in. Keep that front sit bone behind your knee. That's it. And then bring your awareness to your bottom palm. Press that palm out away from your body. And then press the top palm into an imaginary wall in front of you. That's it. And then both at the same time, notice how that helps you turn your body. Let's hold that twist. One more breath. And then slowly release that hand down. Back into that lunge, and then we shift back toward that half Hanumanasana. You can stay there as an option, or keep walking back until we sit back. And then we bring that foot alongside the body. Inhale, reach the arms up, and then exhale, coming forward. And you can either use both hands to hold the foot, or you're going to bring your left hand out as a little bit of support. And then we hold here for a few breaths. Root your thigh bone into the ground. Hinge at your hip crease. One more breath. All right, slowly release, and then we start to walk forward again and step it back, downward facing dog. Optional vinyasa if you'd like to take one. And then let's meet in a child's pose for a few breaths before we add on to what we are doing here. So you can either hold your dog if you don't want to do child's pose, that's fine, but take it if you like. Feel what you feel from your practice so far, just moving all of this stuckness in the tissues of the hips and the legs. What have you been repressing, bottling, denying in your own emotional life? All right, let's come back up, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Let's add that other push up because we didn't do it on the other side. So we'll just get the arms a little bent and push through your hands, extend that leg, step through to the lunge. And this time we're going to take pigeon lunge. So some of you might want your blocks here. So I'm going to show it with the blocks. We're going to keep the right foot center, but now drop it open like we did with the lizard. Okay, so foot is center. We're going to press through the pinky edge of that foot. And then if you can, lift your back knee up. So the front leg is externally rotating. You're on the pinky edge of the foot. The foot's on the center of your mat. Now, to protect your knee, hug your hips into center, press down through that pinky edge of the foot, and reach your chest forward. Pull your shoulder heads back away from your ears. Last breath. And then if you have that back knee lifted, lower it back down. And we're going to come into a messy pigeon. So messy pigeon, we're going to slide that front foot back like we're going to do pigeon, but we're going to then bend the back knee. So both knees are bent. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll flip this way. And this leg can kind of slide back behind you because you're like halfway between pigeon pose and not pigeon pose. And then from here, we're going to fold over the front leg. So walk yourself out, fold over that front leg, and then stay here. We're going to press into the front shin. So stay in the fold, press into the front shin, and pull the front sit bone back away from your knee. Take a couple breaths as you reach your chest forward. And be aware of the outer hip. Breathing through any intensity. One more breath. Good, and now from your messy pigeon, start to walk yourself up. Take that back leg back, step it back, downward facing dog. And let's try that on the other side. So inhale, left leg up, push up or not, your choice. I think we're even now. And then step through into the lunge, grab your blocks if you use them. And we'll take that pigeon lunge. So we're gonna come to the pinky edge of the left foot, let the knee drop open. You can stay here or lift that back knee off the ground. And then we're going to press through the pinky edge of that front foot, hug the outer hips in, and kind of shift the weight back a little bit so we don't get too much pressure in the knee. Let's hold it there another moment or two. Good, and then we'll drop that back knee down to the ground and find our messy pigeon. So we're gonna slide the front foot back far enough that we can then come onto the back leg. Both legs are on an angle. Try to center that front knee, so your left knee kind of mid-mat, and then start to fold over that leg. Any amount. We're going to press through the front shin, pull the sit bone back away from the knee, and that helps us lengthen that outer hip a bit more, that gallbladder channel. Gallbladder also relates to our decision-making skills. So if we find ourselves really not being able to make decisions, that's another way that we're not expressing, right? So if we don't make a decision, we're stagnant. So we've got to make the decision one way or the other. So opening gallbladder channel can maybe help us make that decision. All right, slowly, slowly walking it back up and step it back, downward facing dog. Optional vinyasa here if you want to take one, totally your choice. Maybe you want to hold your dog. And we're gonna meet back in downward facing dog. Let's see, just time check. We're gonna go through a sequence one more time, changing it up yet again, just a little bit. Inhale, right leg up. Step through, drop your back knee. Open the front knee, twist, press your hand and thigh into each other. Good, come back, walk your foot back in. Lift the back knee, open to the twist. Pull with your bottom hand, press with your top hand. Good, release. Drop the back knee, walk it back, either half Hanumanasana or sitting back all the way. This time, we're gonna see if we can lean back and come into kind of a half Supta Virasana. So you might drop to your forearms. You're gonna extend through the left knee and keep your shoulders back and chest open. If this is too much on your quad, you're gonna stay in that half Hanuman. If you're in the pose, press your shin down. Take another breath. Good. Now, those of you who want, you can either come out, you come into a child's pose if you wish. You could take a vinyasa, or you're going to lay down a little deeper onto the ground. Some of you might want to prop behind you. So if you have something nearby, I'm going to show it with my blocks. You could put your blocks underneath your shoulder blades and your head. Okay, so that would be to help you not go down as far. If it feels pretty mild, you could put a blanket there instead. You can put a bolster. Or you can come flat onto the ground and feel what you feel. Big stretch on that front of the thigh, perhaps. All right, so now we're going to slowly start to prop back up if you're down there and straighten both legs out in front of you. So if you're not in a seated position, go ahead and come into a seated position and take your legs out in front of you. We will get to that other side, don't worry. Okay, soles of the feet together. Hold your ankles, lift up, lift your chest. If you can, find your big toes, hook your big toes. If you can, straighten the legs out to the side. Again, getting into inner legs, keep lifting your chest. And then bring the legs together, squeeze the inseams of the legs together, lift your chest. Soles of the feet together, bound angle, inhale here. Exhale, fold over your legs. Press the heels together, extend through the inner knees. All right, slowly coming up, use your hands, draw your knees together, make your way back, downward facing dog, vinyasa if you like. We've got another side to do. So when you're ready, inhale, left leg up. Step through, drop onto the back knee, lizard twist. So open up that knee, press your hand and thigh into each other, turn open. Coming back to center, open into the twist, lift the back knee if you like. Pull with your bottom hand, press with your top hand. Good, release, drop that back knee, shift back. Half Hanumanasana, staying there if you like, or shifting back. So make your adjustments here. I want to try and get like the tailbone to scoot forward a bit, and that'll help me start to ease back. And you might stay right here, propped up, and not go any farther. You could stay in your half Hanumanasana, or you could find some props or go flat on your back. So Supta Virasana, so it's half Supta Virasana. You can take your arms overhead if you like. Remember, use those props if this is challenging for that bent knee. See if you can feel like you're extending through that right thigh, pressing your shin down, lengthening your tailbone. We'll have a couple more breaths. Remember, you can always come out, take a vinyasa or child's pose as another option. All right, let's release those hands and prop yourself back up if you're in the Supta Virasana and straighten that leg, both legs out. Good, so we'll do that sequence again. Draw the feet in for your bound angle. Lean back, lift your feet up. See if you can hook your big toes and extend those legs out wide. Keep lifting through your chest. Push out through your inner heels and then bring those legs together. Squeeze the inseams of the legs together. And then release, bound angle, feet together. Inhale, lift up, exhale, and fold. And this time, let's take about 5 breaths where you are. Feel all the feels. Slowing down, being still. All right, on your next inhale, let's slowly come up. Use your hands to bring your knees up. Now we're gonna do some seated work. So you might wanna grab a pillow to sit on, and you're probably gonna need your strap. So have that nearby as well. If you have kind of limitation, let's say in your hamstrings, you might also want 2 blankets or pillows to put under your knees. We're gonna do some wide leg work here. Okay, so we're gonna bring the feet flat and extend your right leg out to the side. 2 options. You can extend your left leg out to the side would be option 1, but if you can, we're gonna fold it back because we've been doing all this kind of bending the knee stuff today. So you might be able to do this if your leg is, flexible enough, warmed up enough. If this doesn't feel good on your knee, keep that leg out straight, perfectly fine. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is see if we can widen any amount farther to get into that inseam. I'm going to keep the right toes facing up, knee facing up, and just come forward a little bit. No matter which position you're in, you can slowly walk your hands out till you feel that stopping point. So I already feel a good stretch here in the groin. So I'm going to stop there and then breathe. And if that sensation starts to get a little decreased, you might be able to go farther, but don't force it. Think about tipping your sit bones back behind you, and that'll also lengthen that tissue and connective tissue on that inner thigh as we reach the sit bones back. All right, slowly walking yourself up, grab your strap, and then take your strap around that right foot. Center yourself so that you're facing toward the right leg. Inhale, let your chest lift higher, shoulders back. You can always stay right here or start to hinge at your hip crease. Walk your hands down your strap. Some of you might be able to hold your foot. Root your thigh bone down as you inhale to lift your chest, and then exhale, fold any amount over that leg. Again, you might want a hand on the floor for a little support, or you could hold your foot with both hands. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Let's take 2 more breaths. Notice what you feel. Be present for the sensations in your body. Try not to get caught up in thought. Stay in the level of your body. All right, slowly, slowly walking yourself back up. And then just take a little twist over to the bent leg side, little counter. Lift your chest and turn open. All right, slowly release, coming back to center. And then we'll first bend that right knee and extend the left leg out. Again, you can stay with a wide leg position or fold that leg back behind you. And then try to widen through the legs. I'm sitting up on a pillow. Make sure left kneecap and toes are facing straight up, and then you can start to walk yourself forward. Find that natural stopping point. And then just soften into your breath. The more we relax, our tissues start to release. We release that stuckness through relaxing. Send your inner thighs and your sit bones back a little bit. Maybe you can walk it out a little more. Last breath here. And then we'll slowly walk ourselves up. Take your strap around the left foot so we can first sit up tall. So our arms aren't going to be long enough to sit up tall. Turn yourself to face that leg. Root the thigh bone down. You can always stay right here or start to hinge at your hip crease and walk yourself forward. And you can keep hands on the ground, on your shin, on your foot. Maybe one hand is for support. Inhale, let yourself lift a little taller, and then exhale, fold once again. Keep rooting your thigh into the ground. Staying here a few more breaths, being present. So if we don't slow down, we don't allow ourselves to be present, really bypass a lot of things in our lives, including our bodies. We disassociate from our bodies. All right, slowly, slowly starting to come up. Take your time, and then we'll twist toward the opposite side. Whether that leg is straight or bent, you can still do that twist. Let's hold it here another moment or two, sitting up tall. And then release back to the center, and then we'll all take the legs out straight. So if you've had them straight the whole time, you'll just repeat this one more time. You can always bend the knees a little bit if the hamstrings are limiting you. Otherwise, thigh bones root down, chest lifts up, and then hinging forward any amount. Find that initial stopping point and pause. Send your sit bones back a little bit. And then find a soft breath. Maybe as you hold, you might be able to go a little farther, but don't force it. So if we force it, we end up actually creating more tightness and stuckness in our tissues. If we proceed with caution, we create a feeling of safety in our nervous system, and the connective tissue can start to release. And that connective tissue penetrates through all of the muscles and the bones. Let's hold 2 more breaths. Maybe you'll be able to go a little lower. After that second breath, go ahead and now slowly, slowly walk yourself back up. Use your hands, lift those knees, and bring the legs back together. Good. One more time. Drop the knees apart, bound ankle. If you're on a prop, you might want to take that out actually. Lift the feet, hold the feet. And then if you like, hold the big toes, extend the legs out to the sides. Bring the legs together. I'm gonna go sideways here. Oops, legs together. And now let go of the legs and slowly lower yourself all the way down to the ground. Land on the ground for a moment. And then when you're ready, you can bring those knees into your chest and just give a nice little rock side to side. All right, so if you want to do a happy baby, you could. You could also stick with a knee hug. Keep that lower back down on the ground. And then we're all going to finish with seaweed. So seaweed, we take the arms and legs up toward the sky. Let your wrists and hands be nice and floppy and loose. A very slight bend in the knees and the elbows. You feel really kind of loose in your joints. And first, let's just circle the feet and the hands around really slowly. And just feel and sense into the wrists and the ankles. Go the other direction. And then just go ahead and let the arms and legs stay up, but really relax. Let the shoulders drop, let the femur bones feel heavy. You can either stay still here or start to find a little movement as if you're an underwater plant. So you might let the legs and the arms find a little tiny sway. So you start to feel like you're just floating in the water. Your back body, like the roots, and the arms and legs like the plant. Give yourself a few more moments to just experience a sense of kind of free floating and just very fluid like. And then when you're ready, go ahead, bring those knees back into your chest. Really softly draw them in. And then find Shavasana as you are ready. So go ahead and use any props that you might wish to support your body. You want something under your head, under your knees. And just take all the time that you need so you can really find stillness. So we don't want to spend our Shavasana like adjusting constantly. So if we could make any adjustments we need to make so that we can be still. And again, in that stillness, in that quiet, we can sense and feel what is present for us. You might notice changes in your physiology, in your mental state, in your breathing from when you first arrived on your mat. Letting everything go now into the ground, releasing into gravity. Notice sensations that are coming up for you. And see if you can allow those sensations to be there without any judgment, without any particular thought, without having to change anything. Allow those sensations to be in the field of your awareness without needing to change it. So I'll share a reading with you as you continue to rest. This is from a book called The Way of Rest by Jeff Foster. Spend a moment feeling yourself on the ground. Notice the sensation of your body on the earth. And silently remind yourself, I am here. It is now. Feel the fullness and heaviness of your entire body being drawn into the earth by gravity. And let the body rest, melt, sink, and fall into gravity's unconditional embrace. Don't try to control your breathing. Just notice its depth, speed, quality, how the belly rises and falls and empties and refills. Feel how deeply rooted the breath is in the present moment. Notice if the breath slows or deepens with a little gentle attention. Notice all bodily sensations in the forehead, the back of the head, the jaw, shoulders. If there is any tension, tightness, or ache, follow these sensations and soften. Soften around them, breathe into them, and allow them to intensify, to dissolve, to stay. You're not trying to delete or even create the sensations. There's no need to label them. Just remain curious and present and allow all thoughts and images of the mind. Don't try to stop or silence. Give them space and breathing room now. Receive all the ever-changing sounds of the present moment and allow sounds to come and go and to arise and fall effortlessly in your awareness, like waves of the ocean. Spend a moment fully inhabiting, savoring, welcoming this present scene of your life as it emerges moment by moment. Not adding anything, not removing anything, just receiving. As you rest for a moment, you might find yourself yawning or shivering or going a little floppy, letting tension dissipate. You also may feel sadness or joy or energy. You may feel more present, grounded, connected. It's all okay. Allow your experience to be just as it is and don't compare it with anything. You are alive and awake to an original moment, unlike any other. All right, so start to now reawaken. Invite in some smaller movements, deeper breaths. Again, notice how you feel. Notice sensations in your body, how they might differ from the beginning of your practice. And if you feel like taking a stretch or hugging your knees, you can go ahead and make some bigger movement. And eventually you can roll over to your side for a brief pause. And taking your time, you can rise up to a seated position as you are ready. No hurry. And as you arrive seated, sit up nice and tall, maybe widen out the sit bones, let the hands rest down. Just close your eyes, lift that back of the skull, that area that we originally kind of massaged to get some length through your spine. Allowing the chin to gently soften downward. So there's a slight bowing toward the heart. Let's take about 3 more breaths here. Just being present with your breath, with your body. Rise and fall of the belly. Try not to suck it in. Let the breath be soft. And after that 3rd breath, go ahead, bring your hands together in front of the heart space, and we'll prepare to close. Go ahead, inhale deeply, allowing your heart to lift. And as you exhale, bow your head to your heart. And thank you, everyone. Namaste. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to unmute. Hope you guys have a good Saturday. How do we feel?
Thank you. It's awesome.
We did okay?
Yes.
Good, good, good. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. Beth, hi. Thank you for joining us from the other side of the world. She got up early. You're still muted, so we can't hear you.
It was so lovely. It's
so good to have you join us.
Hi, Beth.
Hi, Laurel. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good. It's early, but I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Well, so good to see everybody. You too.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.